set for the 27-28 NHL season. Saskatoon Ice Blades, I believe this is season number 10. Could be 11. Jesus. Second screen's being a pain in the arse right now. 1 second. Yes, I just connected my app. So we're starting the season off with a 3-game road trip. First game of the season being October 15th. Come on. There we go. So the Ice Dragons this year. Max Domi, Luke Pete, Kelvin Wall on the top line. Hakarainen, McBain, and Aho on the second. Rajala, Paris, and Shanahan on the third. Hickman, Bercy, and Carlos on the fourth. Defensive pairings are Gunderson, Peltier, Fleury, Terpos, and Russ Van Persen, and Timothy Lindgren. We are still going with the goaltending tandem of Stuart Skinner and Roger Lowry. Skinner is, I believe, the season and next year, and Lowry has already signed his extension for next year, getting about $1 million pay raise, maybe a little bit more. So let's get through the month of October. I don't want another. Wow. We've given up 1 goal in the first 4 games. Sorry. Oh no, sorry. 4 goals in the first 4 games. I was calculating that. Just read that, but. And Jared Dupries is injured with a sore foot. So we go 6-3. The Burnaby Aces, our farm team, going 7-2. Kelvin Wall leading the team with 9 points in 9 games. Coming off an Art Ross win last season. Pete with 8 points. Peltier with 7. Domi's only got 3 assists on the top line. Carlos with 4 points. Rajala with 4 points. And Aho with only an assist so far. And we sit in 3rd in the division, only 2 points back, as Wilder start off with a 7-1 start to the season. Let's get to the next month of November. It's like the 4th or 5th shutout already this season. Another shutout this year. Gotta take a look at the goaltending stats after the first 2 months. And we're getting a trade. I'm going to decline. I don't feel like giving up any unsigned prospects yet. Might move them at the deadline if they're in the last year. Their last year of availability is signed and they haven't developed yet. So we've improved to 17-6 on the year. Our goaltenders have come on for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shutouts so far this season. Kelvin Wall leading the team with 24 points, 12-12 in 23 games. Pete up there with 24 as well. They're the only two guys with double-digit goals. Hickman's up there. Paris, Rajala, who's slow. Domi's fallen off. 2 goals, 6 assists on the top line. Oops. Skinner going 12-3 with 5 of 6 shutouts. Okay, I miscounted shutouts somewhere. 951 save percentage, 136 goals against average. Backo going 5-3. The 901 save percentage of 261 goals against average. So not bad. Let's get through the month of December. See how we stand as we enter the year 2028. Our first shootout loss, back-to-back shootout losses. Well, 3 losses in a row. Another shutout. That's too much for a fourth. Maybe they offered me a third. I might have considered it. So 24-9-3. In January, February, March, and a little bit of April to go, we're seeing first in our division. 2 points back of the President's Trophy. Kelvin Wall, 18-18, so he's getting a point per game. Our captain leading the way. Pete also up there. How are they holding up for the overall point race? 1 point behind Eric Raymond. Tyler Sagan's up there. Oh, Hershiser. Pete, so it was a tight race. Kelwall 3 points back of the Maurice this year. How's our goalie looking? Him go. Jimmy Frank, wow. Skinner, 17, 5 and 3, 947 save percentage, 152 goals against average. Out of stars, that's the best goals against average in the league. Kreutzer and Frank just trailing behind them. And Gord Bolton. Oh man. So we have to move out Skinner, because if we're not getting playoff success with them, they'll be gone. I have 5 contracts expiring on the team. Von Franzen, one person is one of them. He'll be a guy I'm going to see. Might wait till close to the resign phase. View contracts. So now we got to go to trades. Go look at goalies. All 3 of them in the A are looking for new contracts. Oh, man. God. Maybe all the contracts aren't registering properly in this one. So let's do it this way. Trading block. We're going to try to move out all 3 of these goaltenders on expiring deals. Hopefully we can get a goaltender back. At least. Let's get through the month. January. Oh, I have to look at. Oh, February 1st. That's why I'll look at trades from now on. 2, 3-2 loss, 3-1 win, 2-1 win. Ouch. Been a rough month for the Ice Dragons. Another shutout. Hammered by Calgary. Wow. Well, we have a trade coming in. So Paulus, 7th, 6th, and decline. Decline. Ah, crap. So now it's Wall with 24 goals. '47 points. Also a Pete. Domi up there now with 30 points. He's rebounding. Sebastian Aho with only 19 points in 48 games. He's on pace for similar to his last year. I might be able to get someone cheaper for Sebastian Aho. And no one's got decent left wingers. Wingers are always a problem to find. I want to go older. Unless I have to. Or much older, I should say. fuck is Toby? Oh my lord. Screw you, Minnesota. Okay. Smooth smashing a hole who wasn't really working out. That should give some money to re-sign this guy. And Huey comes in with 3 years left. 5 goals, 7 assists. So yeah, Domi for 2 more years. That'll be 34. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm not getting the goals I want, but he is helping with the top line. Hit lines. Options. Best lines. Yeah, let's go that way. Guns is okay. Goalies still get Skinner and Lowry. 21 wins, 940, 174 goals against average. This might be our year. Let's get through the month of February to the trade deadline and see if any of those AHL players get picked up. Let's go reach the deadline because it's March 3rd. And Juan Ferson accepts his offer. George DeRoche, waiver claim. View player info. He's 25, last year's contract. Decline. Sharks 4th and 5th for our 4th. Us 12th and a 7th. Decline. I think we've got a good core. We just gotta find the right pieces. Another shutout. 2 more shutouts. Decline. Let's edit this trade. Ah. So we're 40, 18, and 4, approaching the deadline. I don't trade deadlines, I promise. Edit trade. So we're at the deadline. 40, 19, and 4. And we are top of our division in a race for the President's Trophy once again. Kelvin Wall with 34 goals, 34 assists, leads that team at 68 points. Domi's racked up 5 goals in the last month. He has hit 33. Let's see if we move Domi out for someone a little younger. Like having Domi there, but I need to find someone with a little more goaltending pop, or goal scoring pop, I should say. I'll say how that I might be interested in. Who's not playing? Hickman's not playing right now. So let's move out Andrew Carlos. Okay. Well, that's why Hickman's playing there. That's what they've done. Okay. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. Let's take a look at let's look at, excuse me, player stats. our centers. Bercy, not bad for fourth line minutes. Our left wingers, Carlos and Huey, both younger. Akinarin, good playmaker. Three of our defensemen have hit 20 points, so that's good. And Skinner, 29, 11, and 4, 937, 180 goals against average. Lowry, 11 and 8 with a 914 and a 227 goals against average. So both goalies still playing very well. Let's get through the month of March and see how we hold up, as we are chasing the President's Trophy, which I don't want to win, but with a 40, 19, and 4 record. Three losses over the month of March. Rebound with a 6-3 win. 3-2 loss. One loss, 5 shootout loss. Overtime win. Another win. Shutout win. 4-2 win. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games left on the year. And we've clinched a playoff spot. Somehow we are still in the President's Trophy race with a 44, 21, and 11 record. Luke Pete leading the team now with 80 points. Wall with 77. And Von Fersen. Oh man, he's got to rebound next year. I think with that contract. If not moving out, because minus 10 only had 1 assist this year. That sucks, boy. Let's see how we do in the month of April in our final 6 games. Overtime loss, that's 100 points. Oh, 4-2 wins, 102. 102 still. 104. So we finished the year with 104 points. Good enough for first in the division. Second best record overall in the NHL. $105. We actually had the most wins in the NHL, looks like, with 49 on the year. Luke Pete leading the team with 86 points. Kelvin Wall with 80. And Pete's 86 is good enough for us to win our second Art Ross. And Wall falling 1 behind Tyler Seguin for the Maurice this year. Peltier way down there. In it. Demko with 41 wins. Skinner with 34. A 202 average at the end of the year. We're definitely in the playoffs. We are playing the Calgary Flames in the first round. Oh my, what is that? This NHL season has ended. So both the NHL and NHL franchises making it to the playoffs this year. We have Calgary. Vancouver plays the Ducks. The Battle of Ontario in the East. There's 5 Canadian teams make the playoffs. Guaranteed 2 in the next round. Let's in the next. And Calgary taking the 1-0 victory in Game 1. The strength of a goal on Cuff in the second. Three stars are Skinner, Sheldon Lultz, and Troy Cuff. Let's get to the next game, see if we can get bounce back into the series. Now, with a 3-2 overtime victory, Calgary has taken the 2-0 series lead. Ranger on Skinner in the first. Hickman ties it up in the second. Jermarek scores. They get a goal from Grigorenko. And Ranger with the overtime winner. Ranger, Lutz, and Kachuk with the 3 stars. We are going to Calgary, trailing 2-0. And on like a 4-game losing streak at least so far this month. And with a 2-1 victory, we are trying to claw back into the series. Pete with a goal in the first. Patan ties it up. And Rajala gives us the lead. Lultz, Skinner, and Rajala with the 3 stars. We need to win Game 4 to get back into this series. And with a 4-0 victory, Skinner gets us back in the series. Lindgren opens the scoring. Bersay makes it 2-0. Bersay with a second and the third. And Rajala makes it 4-0. 3 stars. Bersay, Lindgren, and Skinner only faced 13 shots in Game 4. Wow. Let's into the next game. See if we can take a series lead for the first time. Put the pressure on the Calgary Flames for a change. And with a 4-2 victory, the road team has won every single game in this series. Patan opens the scoring. Pete ties up. Patan makes it 2-1. Ford makes it 3-1. Huey makes it 3-2, and they get the empty netter. Calgary looking to close the series off in 6. And this will be the last year for Stuart Skinner, as he can't seem to win in the playoffs for us. Let's simulate this game. And 4-3 overtime victory. We force a game 7. Cuff makes it 1-0. Chickmatic ties it up. Monahan makes it 2-1. Carlos makes it 2-2. Peterson scores. Fleury ties it up. And Pete gives us the game winner. 3 stars, Kachuk, Monahan, and Fleury. And we're going to Game 7, where the home team has lost every single game this series. And with a 2-1 victory in overtime, we are out in the first round. Tippett scores to open the scoring. Shan ties up in the second, none in the third. And in overtime, Ranger scores again. It's a second overtime winner. And Stuart Skinner, thank you for your service, but you are no longer going to be a Saskatoon Ice Dragon. As I think we've only won 3 playoff series with him in net. And he's won a grand total of 10 He's won the most playoff games he's won is 10. So that would have gotten us into the conference finals 1 time. His entire career has been with us because he was a draft pick of us in the first year. So actually, he's a good indication of how many years we played. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11 years, because he didn't play the first year. His goals against has been decent, but then comes the playoffs. He hasn't been the greatest. He did win us a Calder Cup trophy for 1 year. But he's just not the goaltender to get us over the hump in the playoffs. Lowry might get the chance to be the starter. Doesn't have much better playoff numbers. Doesn't have any playoff numbers really. So both goaltenders might be on their way out at the end of this year as we look for answers. We made the playoffs. This would have been 9 straight seasons in the playoffs. So Yeah. So the Calgary Flames beat us, go on to win the Stanley Cup. I believe that's our first since 1989. And the Lee Valley Phantoms winning the Calder Cup. And no change to the maximum rookie. Minimum salary cap is 93 and the maximum is 113. We don't pick anyone in the top 15 this year. But at the draft, we are going to be making changes in net. Take a look at the retired players. Stefan Matteau, Mackenzie Weegar, and Dan Catanassi all retiring. They were all minor leaguers. No goalies retiring for us. Take a look at the retired goaltenders. Scott Darling retiring. Calvin Pickard calling it a career. Giles, Brosette, Berube, McCollum, and a couple guys I've never heard of. All skaters. Jamie Benn, Taylor Hall, Jeff Skinner, Derek Stefan, Oliver Ekman Larson calling it a career at age 36. Kyle Turris, Marcus Cronlund, Niederreiter, Palat, Tolpe, Brendan Gallagher, nice. Wow, Ryan Spooner, who I believe was an expansion pick for us. And Devontae Smith-Pelly, also calling it a career. So we're definitely not getting rid of the top 3 players on the team. These I believe already signed to his extension. But Paris could become expendable at $10 million a season. 2 years left. Yeah, $10 million when he had 31 points last year. That's not worth that kind of money. So, Pascal Paris, you're going up on the block. Stuart Skinner, you're going up on the block. And finally, let's put up Manic, I guess. Actually, yeah. And one assist on the year. Minus 12. Huh. What did you do in the playoffs? You were actually a +1 in the playoffs. So you're a positive player in the playoffs, negative player in the NHL. But for the amount of money I'm going to be paying you, you're not worth it. minimum, at least a starter. Okay. Let's see how they do at the draft. Wow. Holy crap, Montreal. Man. What do you want? No. No. Alright. I moved up. Got rid of Skinner and pick up a first. First next year. That was worth a shot. Gerard, top player this year. So we definitely need a right winger. Wow. This is a phenomenal draft. User pick. So every player except for the last one or two was an elite potential player. So we go 20, 27th in the first, 47th in the second, then we drop down to the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th rounds. In the draft, that is like the best potential draft I've seen in forever. Award winners this year. Oops. Yeah, Calgary Flames. President's Trophy going to the Canucks. The Clarence Campbell going to the Flames. They played the Rangers, who are looking for back-to-back cups. Didn't get it. Art Ross going to Pete. Kreutzer with the Hart Memorial. Riley with the Norris. Bing going to Valeno. Calder going to Cons. Waltz with the Conn Smythe. Kreutzer with the Vezina. Skinning and Lowry splitting the Jennings, and Skinner getting moved out. Bill Maston going to Muckalt. McDavid with the Selk. Lindsay going to Kreutzer. And the Art Ross, or the Maurice Richard going to Tyler Seguin. Well, let's go to contracts. So Pete, Paris, Manic, Manic, you're unsigned. Marina. Maltz accepts. Hewitt accepts. Manic rejected. Mironov accepts. chance. Wow. Just for that, you're now a sign and trade guy. So now I'm getting something for you. That's almost a full million above what you're asking for. And he still rejects. So we lose Checkmatic for nothing, despite trying to re-sign him all free agency. Wow. Got 24 million to sign, guys. And we've got a lot of guys this year that need to be re-signed. So that frees up 15 million in cap space this year. We got guys offered contracts. I'll come back to you, Huckleberry. Bill Rogers. So John Gibson coming over. Hopefully give us that playoff for experience. Pete accepts his extension. Paris accepts his. What do we have for gaps going into this season? Centers are okay. Left wingers are okay. Right wingers are okay. Five. So I'm going to try trade Kondrov and Lindgren and sign young 80-ish defenseman. And also should free up some cap space. I guess it needs the cap hit of these guys. Okay, now let's go to free agents. What do we got sitting out there? Asplund, Murphy, 35. Sabinajad, 27. Powell, 36. cult. So should I let the sign? You 14 million. That's got to go between 4 players, hopefully. Ugh. Eee. Oh. Actually, you're not too bad. So that makes it 11 million between these 3. Two of them are elites. Okay, we'll go that way for him. Goes way up. Goes way up. He's a year younger, so. Okay. Let's have a couple days, see if I get that defenseman I targeted. Decline. I'm not getting a personal pick for a defenseman. And Hickman accepts his extension. Rejected. And the cult accepts his. Okay. And so let's just get to the next season. Yes. Decline. Decline. Oh yeah, that's what I gotta do too. Oh man. Come on, come on, come on. Decline. That's what I wanted. So once again, we are entering the year with all greens on offense. Managed to get all greens on defense with Drake coming up. He's a 2027 second round pick. No career stats, so he's a full rookie. Isaac McCult will be joining on the third group pairing. And goalies, we're going with Gibson and Lowry this year. Gibson signed a $9 million 1-year deal for us to hopefully get us to the playoffs, as he has pretty decent experience in the playoffs. Two decent runs in there. He won the cup with the Ducks. I think he won the cup back to back, or got close anyway. Those are still the same because I haven't made any changes on the roster. Just gotta call up another forward. Done. And I also want to view contracts. Okay. So Carlos and Dupre and McCult are trade bait throughout the year. Once I get to the resign phase, I have cash to resign them. What time is it? It is 10 o'clock. You might be able to get one more season in. Let's take a look at the preseason standings. And Hakare Harian accepts his extension. best forwards for 3 weeks. So 5-2 preseason. Holy crap, Pete with almost 2 points a game. Wall with 10 points as well. Hickman with 10. Gibson going 3-2. 897 save percentage, 220 goals against average. Lowry getting 114 goals against average. And 2 appearances, so let's just get through the first month of the season. US, Ontario. Two, 5-3, 5-3-1. So 5-3-1 start to the year. Our first year though is George Skinner. This is year 12 now. Second in our division. Not bad. Take a look at the stats. After. So Quebec and then Western. We're not making any trades yet. 13-6-1 as we come up on the last 4 games of the month. 14-6-1. Then we'll flip around defenseman through North America. $16, 6-1. 17, 6-1 should be good enough for first in our division. It is by 5 points. We're 2 points back at Calgary. Pete leading the team with 27 points in 24 games. Wall right behind him, Hickman and Hakaharianen. There, Rajala. Drake with 14 points as a rookie. Nice. Gibson seeing a resurgence with a 13-4-1 record, 946 save percentage, a 157 goals against average. Lowry 4-3 with a 917 and 256. Lowry may end up just getting a year or two as a starter, as we have an elite goaltender developing the A. Let's get through the next month. So we get through the month of December, reaching the calendar halfway point. A rough start to the month. Pick up 1 win so far, 2 wins in December. Overtime loss, shootout losses, a loss. Hold on a second. Hello? I'm back. Spam calls. Overtime win. And we lose our backup of all things. Ugh. Yeah, he's been hurt for a while. Alright, finally getting healthy. And he gets hurt right away again. And yeah, there's supposed to be Lowry picking up extra minutes. With Gibson there for at least of the playoffs. And it hasn't been a good year for him. Okay, so we have no way to re-sign any of these guys. This might hurt us. We have some younger guys who are just on the cusp of making the NHL. So, try trading these guys to Eastern teams. Do I have his cap? Six. Okay, both have extensions. Okay, so let's review contracts. Something called "You're gonna stay, Gibson. You're gonna stay." We got Pete leading the team in points. Wall with only 15 goals. Yeah. What's he doing in the A? 6 wins. Looking for more. Okay. So we got everyone called up that we need. Let's get through to March 1st. As we probably ruined this team, so decline. Decline. Wow, 3-game winning streak to start the month of March. Overtime losses, 4-game point streak. 5-game point streak. 6-game point streak. 7-game point streak. 8-game point streak. Nine-game point streak. 10-game. 11-game. 12. What a month. 1, 2, 3-game winning streak. Overtime loss, that's 4-game point streak. 5. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13-game point streak. We take 13, 12, 24, 25 points out of 26 in the month. That is phenomenal. And we're sitting top of our division. Haven't clinched the playoff spot yet, but that should come any day now. That is 42, 13, and 8. Pete with 23 goals, 35 assists, 58 points. Wall having the worst year of his career so far in goal production. Since he was a rookie. Hickman, not bad. Goalies. Sarno going 6-1. 150 goals against average. Lowry has struggled this year. He's been hurt. Keeps breaking his thumb. A 9-7. Gibson doing great for us this year. Harris, who's our $10 million man, only at 25 points. And then he drops down to more manageable numbers, so that's okay. Spain. You got 8 years left. What are you doing? Okay, you're okay. You can stay. Versi. 10-5. You're not worth much. Left wingers. Rajala. 13-23. Marnoff. 19-15. Tapper. 2-5. So I played 13 games. Huey. Not bad. You've already matched your point total from a year ago. Right wing. Wall, you're struggling and all that. Hickman, 19-26, not bad. 5-39. Shannon, 10-10. Everyone's got one more year left, so that's okay there. Defense. Good. Decent. Great for a rookie. Not bad. Lyman. He's only played 15 games this year, so that's okay. McCult. 2-4. You are not worth the money I'm paying you. So, even though you signed a 1-year deal with us, okay. Oh, excuse me. So the only guy really that we have to sign that's going to be concerned is Gibson. I don't want to disrupt the team too much. I just got to make sure that roster moves. That's good. 4, 5. How old are you? 26. And so we do have a bit of a gap now on the defensive side of things. we're going to try to sign Ellis to a 1-year deal. Just as a decent guy who's close to the 80 mark, which I like. So for now, we're just going to advance day. 7-2, nothing win. And Ellis accepts our offer to join, which is what I want to see. So we made that move. Just because I didn't realize how bad the defense was. Let's go to April 1st. That's not 14 game 15. Game unbeaten streak comes to an end with a 2-game losing streak. Back to forwards. Okay, let's take a look at the roster moves. We are first in our division, behind in the... We are 5 points back of the Art Ross, which is good. Pete leading team with 72 points. Make sure we have the guys that want up. Yep. 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 Hello. And we got the goaltenders up that I want. Okay, so let's see how we do. We're in the playoffs. Hopefully we can keep some momentum going into April, which has been a bad month for us. Edit scouting assignment. Loss. Win. Close the year with a win, boys. No. So we go 3-2 in the last 5 games of the year. 53, 20, and 9. 115 points, 1 point back of the president. Not too bad. Where are you from? Ooh, man, it's gonna be an interesting playoffs, as we will be playing our division rival. We get the Arizona Coyotes in the first round. So Luke Pete leading the team with 78 points. Kelvin Wall 71. Hickman with 59. Hakanarian with 52. Rajala with 51. Drake and Peltier both with 47 and 42 points. McBain with 36. Paris with 30. Moronoff. Gunderson. Shanahan. Huey. Bercy. Fleury. Tapper with 14 points in 32 games. Not bad. Ellis with 6 points. Wyman with 2. Ropel and Arneson getting a couple goalies. Gibson with a 40-win campaign. 177 goals against average. Phenomenal for him. That is awesome. Especially at 35. Let's see how we do in the playoffs. See if the Ice Dragons can win their second Stanley Cup. I want this one. One down too many. I'm from Ontario. Great season's ended. Okay. And just the parent club making it to the playoffs this year. Burnaby Aces. Not. So we get the Coyotes. Let's see how we do. And with a 2-1 victory, we take game 1.
I see.
Fisher opens the scoring in the second. Rajala ties it up. Pete gives us the victory with an early goal in this third. The 3 stars of game 1 are Gibson, Gord Bolton, and Luke Pete.
I'm from Czech Republic.
Oh, nice. How's the weather there? Into next game. Plus lines, that'll help. And with a 3-2 overtime victory, we take the 2-0 series lead. Galina opens the scoring in the first. Captain Kelvin Wall ties it up. Wall with his second of the game in the third. Keller ties it up. And in overtime, Rajala getting the overtime
You were looking
victory.
at the Olympics.
Yeah, I watched a lot of the Olympics this year because I worked nights, so it was kind of nice. Germany was a surprise in men's hockey. John Gibson with the first star, Kelvin Wall with the second, Gord Bolton with the third. So this has been a one goal series so far, as we've outscored them 5-3 in 2 games. As the series sifts to the desert. And let's see if we can pick up the victory in game 3 and put the Coyotes on the ropes. And with a 4-3 overtime victory, the Coyotes get back in the series. Martinson opens up scoring. Hickman ties it up.
Play please and do not simulate those games.
What I'm doing is a full sim to see how well the team does in 25 years. Berlini gives the Coyotes a 2-1 victory. Hakanaren Makes it 2-2. Hickman gives us a 3-2 lead. Martinson ties it up. And Bowery getting the third star. So Matheson, Martinson with 4 points on all four goals. Bowery and Hickman with 3 stars. We are going to Game 4, looking to take the 3-1 series lead. Let's simulate this one. And once again, we take a 2-1 victory. Fisher opens the scoring. Tapper ties it up in the first. Huey gets a goal in the second. Gibson holds on, and we take a 3-1 series lead, going back to Saskatoon for Game 5 with John Gibson first star, Christian Fisher second star, and Lance Huey with the third. And let's see if we can close out the series and advance to the second round. And with a 4-2 victory, the first game of the series that isn't decided by a goal. The Ice Dragons are advancing to the second round. Pharisee opens the scoring. Fisher tied it up. Morona, Mironov, Pete, and Rajala with 3 goals. Keller makes it 4-2. And Gibson shuts the door down in the third. We advance to the next round. The 3 stars, Pete, Gibson, and Boris Mironov. And we are going to the second round of the playoffs for the first time in 3 years. Let's get to the next day. Or advanced day, sorry. And it's looking more and more like we're going to be playing the Avalanche in the next round. Toronto Maple Leafs closing out their series in 4. Calgary, Nashville going to 7. Same with Boston and Ottawa. Simulate day or advanced day. So Calgary advancing to the second round. We're looking like is going to be Colorado, if I did the math right. And the East is all done with Boston, Florida, Philadelphia, and Toronto all advancing. We're waiting on the winners of the Ducks and Golden Knights. Advanced day. So it is the Ducks and Flames, Ice Dragons, and the Avalanche. The Florida Panthers, Boston Bruins, and Philadelphia Flyers taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Luke Pete leading the team in the first series with 6 points. Only scoring twice. Rajala with the most goals for us with 3 in that series. Marjamaki, the only player not to get a point. I played one game. Fleury, no points. No goals from the defense in the first round. And our goaltender, Gibson, going 4-0-1. 942 save percentage, 173 goals against average. So he has been on fire this season. He's only signed to a 1-year deal. As I was thinking, he'd just be a stopgap, but he might be a goaltender I look at it actually keeping. And we start the series at home, looking to take a 1-0 series lead over the Colorado Avalanche. And with a 3-2 overtime victory, the Avalanche taking game 1. Paris and Hickman open the scoring. Rantanen making it 2-1. Knowles in the second. Tripp ties it up in the third. And Tripp gets the overtime winner. The 3 stars are Tripp, Convoy, and Pascal Paris. Let's get to...
I'm sorry, I'm getting a PC.
Oh, nice. And let's go to game 2. And see how see if we can get back in the series and head to Colorado tied up at 1. And with a 3-1 victory, we tie up the series. Gunderson opens the scoring. Huey makes it 2-0 in the second. Rantanen makes it 2-1, and Gunderson with a second left, getting the empty netter. And we tie up the series. Colorado firing 45 shots at Gibson, who should be the first star, making 44 saves. Gunderson and Lance Huey with the second and third stars. We go to Colorado, tied up at 1. And the Avalanche Flames are also tied up at 1. Boston's down 2-0, and the Leafs are down 2-0 as well. Hickman leading the team in points now with 8 in 7 games. Or 8 points. And with a 3-2 victory, we're up 2-1 in the series. Rajala opens the scoring. McKinnon ties up. Armstrong gives them 2-1 lead going into the third with a late second period goal. Hickman ties up, and Versailles gets the game winner. About 3 minutes later, the 3 stars of game 3 are Armstrong, Gibson, and David Drake with 3 assists. Not bad for the rookie. As we look to take a 3-1 series lead, if we can take game 4 in Colorado. And with a 4-3 victory, we take game 4. Rajala once again opens the scoring. Rantanen ties it up. Armstrong and Tripp give them the 3-1 lead. In the third period, McBain makes it 3-2. Gunderson ties up, and McBain with the second goal of the period, giving the Ice Dragons the victory. We're going back to Saskatoon, looking to close out this series in 5 as well. McBain, Rajala, and Gunderson with the 3 stars. And let's go to May 2nd or May 4th. Hickman still with 9 points in 8 games. The Florida Panthers sweeping the Boston Bruins. The Leafs have battled back in their series. And the Ducks are up in their Eastern Conference, our Western Conference quarterfinal or semifinal. That's it, semis. Quarters, semis, finals. PS4. I need a new TV, and then I'm looking at possibly getting the Xbox One S or whatever the new one is. Let's play the next game. It is Saskatoon Ice Blades looking to close out the series in 5 if they can get the 4th win in a row against the Colorado Avalanche.
I see.
And with a huge 6-1 victory, we take Game 5. Farsi, Shanahan, McBain, and Peltier all scoring in the first. Ratning gets the only goal for the Avalanche in the second. Tapper, less than a minute later, makes it a 5-1 game. We had one more in the third, and the Ice Dragons are going to the conference final. 3 stars: John Gibson, Yuka Rakjala, and Gavin Tapper. And let's go to complete game. An advanced day as we are playing the Anaheim Ducks. And we are waiting to see if the Leafs can close out the Flyers in 6. And it looks like the Philadelphia Flyers have forced Game 7. As the Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the Florida Panthers in the Eastern Conference, and the Ice Dragons taking on the Ducks. Rajala leading the team with 9 points in 10 games now. The story of this playoff, though, has got to be John Gibson, who signs a 1-year deal with the team at $9 million for the year. He's got 8-0-2, 942 save percentage, and 183 goals against average, as he's led the Ice Dragons on a nice deep playoff run. Let's sim to next game. And he faces off against his former team. And
why did you start pulling on YouTube?
My brother does it, and I want to see if I could get better views than he does, to be honest. I was bored and just wanted to do something different, to be honest. So 3-1 victory. Rajala opens the scoring in the first. Mironov makes it 2-0. Nylander makes it 2-1. Rajala makes it 3-1. No goals in the third. Gibson stopping 26 shots. Rajala, Gibson, and Mironov with the 3 stars. And we are up 1-0, 3 games away from returning to the Stanley Cup. Let's see if we can take game 2 and put some real pressure on the Ducks as the series heads to Anaheim for the first time. And with a second 3-1 victory, we're up 2 games on. Pharisee opens the scoring. Wall gets it, makes it 2-0. Telkvist tie makes it 2-1. Not yet. I'm thinking of getting it this weekend. And McBain picking up the third goal, make it 3-1. 3 stars of the game: Kelvin Wall, John Gibson, and David Drake with 2 assists. And the series switching over to Anaheim. The Panthers up 2-0 on the Leafs. 7-2 next game. Edit. And we are getting ready for Game 3 against the Anaheim Ducks, looking to take the commanding 3-0 series lead. And with a 3-2 overtime victory, we have the Anaheim Ducks on the ropes. McBain opens the scoring. Fiala ties it up. Shanahan makes it 2-1. Fiala gets his second of the game in the third. And in overtime, Mironov gives us the 3-2 victory. 3 stars are Fiala, Lindholm, and Jonas McBain, as we are looking to deliver the knockout punch in Game 4 and knock out the Ducks in the Honda Center. And the Florida Panthers up 3-0 on the Leafs as well. This could be a short conference final. And with a 2-1 victory, the Ducks stay alive to force Game 5. Nylander opens the scoring in the first. Ritchie makes it 2-0 in the second. With less than a minute remaining, Ellis makes it 2-1 to break the shutout bid. The 3 stars of the game. Hey, well, have a good day. I will probably be wrapping up this broadcast after the playoffs, but I might be back on, sure, but Saturday I should be on for sure. 3 stars: Torsten Svensson, John Gibson, and Nick Ritchie, as the Ducks stay alive with a 2-1 victory. We go back to Saskatoon, looking to close this series out in 5. I believe that will be the 3rd straight series that has gone 5 games for us if we win. Yeah, 5-5. The Panthers have gone 5. Wow, the Panthers have not lost a game in the last 2 rounds, as they are going to the Stanley Cup final, and they're waiting on the victor of the Ice Dragons and Ducks. And with a 4-2 victory, the Ducks are staying alive, forcing Game 6 back in Anaheim. O'Reilly opens the scoring. Korenskov makes it 2-0. Telkvist makes it 3-0. No goals in the second. Huey and Rajala try to get us back into the game, but the empty netter seals our fate.
Ike is your most favorite NHL team?
Oh, Winnipeg Jets are my favorite, even though I live in Leafs country. Svensson, O'Reilly, and Lowry with 3 stars. Roger Lowry coming in and shutting them down. In the second and third, it looks like. Let's go to game 6, and hopefully we can close out the Anaheim Ducks and go to the Stanley Cup Final for the second time in franchise history. And with another 4-2 victory, the Ducks have forced Game 7. Hickman opens the scoring. Nylander with 2 in the first. Krosev makes it. Have a good day. Makes it 3-1. Bercy makes it 3-2. And in the third period, Barrico with the empty netter. This has been a huge turnaround as the Ducks have built momentum with Ryan O'Reilly, Alexander Nylander, and Torsten Svensson with the 3 stars. Can the Ducks avoid elimination? Can we avoid elimination for the first time in the playoffs? This playoff. So sim to next game. And simulate. And we get the 3-1 victory in Game 7. Hickman opens the scoring. Barrico ties up. Mironov scores, make it 2-1. And Gunderson with an early goal in the third. We advance to the Stanley Cup Finals. Gibson, Gunderson, and Mironov with the 3 stars. This is our second appearance in the finals. As we play the Florida Panthers, and we start at home. And let's simulate to next day. For brief history, we won the Stanley Cup in year 4. It was our second appearance in the playoffs. We have not been to the Stanley Cup Finals since. So in franchise history, we have never lost a Stanley Cup Final. Let's see if we can continue that tradition. And let's simulate Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. See if we can end the Panthers' winning streak. And with a 4-3 victory, the Panthers continue to roll. Sutton with the goal in the first. Hakanaren ties it up. DeBrusque makes it 2-1. Late goal making it 3-1. That's the third period, sorry. So Shore opens up the scoring. Rajal and Hickman making it 2-1. Sutton makes it 2-2. We go 3, 2, 4, 3, 3, and 9 seconds left. So 2 late period goals by the Panthers give them the 1-0 series lead. Kai Hakanarian, Alexander Barkov, and Brandon Shore with the 3 stars. Let's get to Game 2 and see if we can tie up the series as it goes to the Sunshine State. And with a 4-2 victory, we end the Panthers, at least the elimination, at least a 10-game winning streak by the Panthers. And we are up 4 going to Florida, tied up at 1. Kelvin Wall scoring to make it 1-0. Nice tying it up. Tapper makes it 2-1. Barkov ties it up. Peltier gets the eventual game winner, and Hakanarian with the goal to give us the insurance. 3 stars. Peltier, Wall, and Gibson in Game 2. And we are going to Florida, tied up at 1. Hopefully we can take the series lead in Game 3. And with a 4-2 victory, we're up 2-1. No scoring in the first. Rajala, Fleury, and Mironov with 3 goals in the third. We are playing Stuart Skinner, that son of a bitch. Shore makes it 3-1. DeBrus makes it 3-2. Pete making it 4-2. And we are up by 1. The 3 stars were Jella. I hope so. I made the decision, Rex, to trade Skinner in the off season. And of course, who's the goaltender I'm playing in the Stanley Cup final? So Rajala with the first star, Gibson with the second, and Troy Ellis with the third. And we are going back to game 4, looking to close out our second Stanley Cup victory. Well, not close out, but take the commanding lead. Simulate the game up. Let's see how we do. And with a 2-1 victory, Nice opens the scoring in the first. Peltier beats Skinner late in the second to tie it up. And then the third period, Maltby giving them the advantage. And Skinner shuts us down the rest of the way. Stuart Skinner, John Gibson, and Tim Nice with 3 stars. Damn you, Stuart Skinner. Can't get to the Stanley Cup Finals with us in 10 years, but I can take Florida. So we go back to Saskatoon for game 5, looking to take 3-2 series lead. And the veteran rebounds. McBain opens the scoring in the first. Gunderson gives us a 2-0 advantage in the second. That's the only goal scored. John Gibson gets the shutout. Stuart Skinner stopping 36 shots. And Jonas McBain with the 3rd star. And we go back to Florida, looking to close out the Stanley Cup playoffs. And beat our former goaltender into submission. And with a 1-0 victory, Stuart Skinner has forced Game 7 against the Saskatoon Ice Blades, or Ice Dragons, with the Sylvia with the only goal in the game. We go back to Saskatoon. Skinner stopping 26 shots, Gibson stopping 25. So both goaltenders facing 26 shots in the game.
He wants revenge.
He does. He does, that bastard. And Harry De Silva with the 3rd star. We're going to Game 7 for the second time in this playoffs. And let's simulate this game. Don't look, don't look, don't look. And with a 3-1 victory, We win the Stanley Cup on home ice. Mironov with the opener. Pete making it 2-0. Anise making it 2-1 in the second. And captain Kelvin Wall on Bartlett. Skinner went down at some point in that game as Bartlett. Yeah. As Bartlett gave up the goal in the third. So a 3-1 victory by the Ice Dragons. They have not lost in the Stanley Cup final. Stuart Skinner went down in the third. Went down 4 minutes, roughly 3.5 minutes, 3:10 into the third. Skinner went down with an injury, forcing Bartlett into the game. And that's probably what broke the Panthers. 3 stars of Game 7. Luke Pete, John Gibson, and Clinton Peltier. As we win the Stanley Cup for the second time. It was 10 years ago we won the Cup. And Luke Juka Rajala with 19 points in 24 games.
Your favorite way to win?
It seems that way. So Saskatoon Ice Dragons with the Stanley Cup. The Lehigh Valley Phantoms repeating as Calder Cup champions. And let's take a look at the awards. The Ice Dragons with the Cup. Flames with the President's Trophy. The Clarence Campbell going to us. And the Florida Panthers with the Prince of Wales. Art Ross going to Johnny Gaudreau. John Gibson with the Hart Memorial Trophy. Dougie Hamilton with the James Norris. The Brinkat with the Lady Bing. Gerard with the Calder. Conn Smythe going to John Gibson. The Vesna going to Gibson. The Jennies going to Gibson. The Bill Masterson Trophy going to Dubinsky. Connor McDavid with the Selke. The Ted Lindsay going to Gibson. And the Maurice Richard going to Pete this year. That is... wow, I did not expect Gibson to win that many awards this year. I brought him in as like a veteran goaltender this season. And the guy who's been backing up Skinner for like the last half decade got injured like 5 times throughout the year. So Gibson really did step up. Playoff scoring. Rajala with 19 points. Kai Hakanarian with 16. Pete with 15. Hickman with 14. Bain with 12, Paris with 11, Wall with 10, Huey with 8, Mironov with 6, Tapper with 7, Versi with 6, and Shanahan with 6. Only one guy hitting double digits in the playoffs. Ekman was 3 away. Gunderson with 14 points. Drake in his rookie year winning the Stanley Cup, but not scoring in the playoffs. Only 5 goals all year. Not bad for the rookie. He had 10 points on the power play. So he became an asset right away. Clinton Peltier dropped off in goals and points this year. but stepped up big time in the playoffs. But the big story is, okay, how do you get a loss with 1,000 save percentage? Gibson gave up the goal that lost us that game. Gibson going 16-6-2 with a shutout, 937 save percentage, 186 goals against average in the regular season at 35 years old. Gibson had a 186 goals against average for us this year. Oops. Yeah, 40 wins, 177 goals against average, 9 shutouts. So he did phenomenal. I'll have to see if he's willing to resign in the off season, though I don't have much money to resign guys. Playoff tree. Like, Skinner couldn't get us out of the second round his entire career with us. Maybe, I think, once we got to the conference finals. And he goes 5 games in round 1. Sweeps the Bruins, sweeps the Leafs, and goes 7 with us. Bucking tradition of the team that played the most games losing. We go 7 in the conference finals, 7 in the Stanley Cup finals. And we win. I'm so happy with that year. Let's get to the draft. Still no change on the rookie cap. 116, 97 million roughly. We don't have anything in the top 15. I'm nervous about this part. Not because of forwards. Gibson hasn't retired yet, which is good. But Frederick Anderson calling a career. Robin Lehner. Mrazek. I have no idea how to pronounce that name. Stollers. A bunch of rookies. Or a bunch of no-namers, I should say. Skaters calling it a career this year. Steven Stamkos hanging up the blades. Brendan Saad. Mark Scheifele. Carlson. Drew Doughty. Johnny Huberto. Kadri. Panarin. Dougie Hamilton was a Norris and then calls it a career. Hedman retiring. Couturier. Fowler, Barry. Phil Deneau, who was an early center for us. Anders Lee. Marchessault. And that's pretty much it for big names. Okay, so I'm going to throw Gibson up. See if anyone wants. He is on a 1-year deal. Just won the Stanley Cup. Maybe someone will offer something for him. Hopefully. Spain with 24 goals this past season. Paris with only 6 on the year, 7 if you include the playoffs. He's gonna go up. And I think that should be it. I'm just gonna throw those two guys. So we're just gonna throw Gibson and Paris. Paris I have recent.
Until you see what my first round draft pick grew to this season. Remember, I picked him at 16.
Oh wow, I can only imagine if you're talking about it. How did your playoffs go? When will that be posted? NHL entry draft.
Working on the editing now, so most likely tonight or tomorrow morning.
Nice. Looking forward to seeing it. Your videos kill like an hour at work every night, which is great. Yeah, I think so. I always like to at least try to get that first pick overall. He's only an 80 this year. Ooh, we still have some high elites available. We'll take the guy projected to go in second.
When I did a whole season, it took me like 2.5 hours to do and cut down to 45 minutes.
Yeah, I should really find some editing software for mine instead of streaming. Make selection. So the first guy we pick up in the first round is a 69 overall right wing sniper so far.
Not bad for a 30th pick.
No, not at all. And I just went by his potential. He's an elite potential. Let's go with Blake. And there's another 69. Send to user pick. Take the high elite guy now. And a 66. $59, so finally a drop off, but take the guy high, top 6 potential. $57. And a low elite, apparently. Oh, yeah, 2 7th round picks. What do we have for goalies? He's got a high HL level. Now the last pick in the draft. Let's just take someone with high potential. And the last pick of the draft I caught was a 61 overall. So we got 3 straight 69, 60 plus players, a couple 50s, and then close out the draft with a 61. Jose Bradley. So Wall's looking for an extension. Man, I have to let Gibson go to free agency before I can re-sign him. Let's get these boys started on their contracts right away. I have a philosophy if guys haven't advanced to at least a 70 by the time they're free agents, then I'm not going to worry about re-signing them. Oh, an unsigned rookie at 70. And also if anyone's over the age, as close to or over the age of 30, I don't sign the minor league deals. Because I think he just won the cup with me, so. Yeah. And he's a +7 in the playoffs, so.
I look at potential for the young guys, and yes, anyone 27 plus down in the Al below 78 is gone.
Yeah, I give guys up to about 25, 26. When they're coming, but when they're coming RFA or UFAs, if they don't want to, if they haven't progressed too bad, they're gone. Contracts, advanced day. That's what I was looking for. Lots of accepted. Pettinger rejected, so I'm not even gonna offer. Go after you. It's only one guy rejecting.
Draft and free agency help fills those slots too easy.
Yeah, it does. My biggest hole right now is goaltending. So. I only have $4.5 million to offer Gibson an extension.
Gonna be another year before my franchise goaltender is the starter for me.
Oh, same here. I'm at least 2 years away, so I need Gibson. So I'm going to have to propose a trade. I don't have to bring back much cap. Why are you only on a 1-year deal? How'd your Q&A go last night?
Not too bad.
Yeah, I woke up a little too late to take part in it. Downside with working nights is there are days where I just can't sleep like today. I don't want a guy in an expiring deal. This is going to be a tough trade as I try to keep my #1 goalie. That only frees up $2 million. Oh man. Okay. So that frees up the money I needed. I got about $4 million to re-sign a center. I'll wait to see if I get Gibson, because if not, then I'll have to come up with plan B. Fist bump, Gibson resigns. $18 million, and I've got 3 guys I definitely need to resign. And I might just be able to pull it off. Okay, let's see how that goes as I look at a 1 year center. I get $4 million to give a guy a chance. $89.80, $89.81. This is the only weakness I should have. Versi rejects. Helmerson accepts his offer. Huey rejected his extension. Kelvin Wall accepts his. That's the big one, as I want to keep my top 3 players together as long as possible. We only have $6 million left. 427. Okay, so Huey and Versi are not going to resign yet. They turned down their first extensions. I'm okay with that. Worst case, I can try trading them out at the deadline for some prospects. So as long as Lowry doesn't get hurt this year, that should help his development. If not, maybe my AHL guy, who's an elite goaltender, will be ready to take up a spot. As Gibson is like the oldest player on the team by like at least 5 years. Oh, there's one. Take a look at the lineups as they stand right now. Hickman moving off his natural side to play with Pete and Wall. Hakanarian, McBain, and Rajala on the second line. Huey, Verse, and Shannon on the third. Tapper, Helmerson, and Mironov on the fourth line. Drake and Peltier on top pairing. Fleury, Gunderson, Wyman, and Kennis. And in goal, we are looking at Gibson, Lowry. Lowry was hurt so much last year, Rex, if you're still watching. He only played 13 games. Let's look at in the system. Borovev is a 78 on the last year of his deal. Serrano on last year of his. It's a medium elite. Okay. We're going to leave the captains as they are with Pete Wall as the captain and Peltier as an alternate. Done. Let's make let's do the roster moves. Roster moves in the system. NHL Senators. How old are you, Stoner? 23. You're gonna switch you up. Wow, okay. I might be a little screwed here. Salcido's older. For now. Confirm. NHL, Pete. Bradley, how old are you? 23. 26. Also 20, 21. So let's cancel. Call those guys up. I got $3.5 million to sign a defenseman. I'll be right back. I'm back. NHL. You're 25. Okay. Best lines. So we need a defenseman. Oh, we got a low elite defenseman. He's 25 years old. Oh, shit. Oh, so I fucked that up. Just strip into dime so I can give you a better contract offer. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna try to get this guy. So I'm just gonna go day by day. And hopefully he signs before I start a preseason game. And he accepts his deal. That helps me out. Actually, he's gonna wait. I guess watch him closely. Because if he gets to 80, I'm gonna resign him, and then I'll move out my backup at the deadline. Oh, he's got 7 years left. So there we go. So fix up that one hole on defense. Let's get through the preseason, and then I'm gonna call it a day. Moving on with the loss. Shootout win. 6-2 win. 3-0 win. 3-0 win. 3-1 loss. And a 6-5 overtime win to go 5-2 in the preseason. What a start to the year. Pete once again with a 2-point goal, 2 points per game average in the preseason. Hickman and Wall both with 11 and 10. Bain with a -2. Aguilar and Rita, Bersey, Pepper. So So Stu Rita, who's on a 1-year deal, did pretty good. Drake has still got 2 years left on his entry-level deal. He was a second-round pick that I took because he had elite levels. So, and he's doing wonderful for us. I'd like to take a look at the rookies just real quick. Okay. So I got 2 there, 3. If they don't hit 70s, they'll be gone. The low elite down there. Yeah. So the Ice Dragons are putting all their eggs in the basket to repeat as Stanley Cup champions. We're going to call it a day there. I hope you all enjoyed. I will probably be back tomorrow at some point, maybe tomorrow evening, as I got a bunch of running around deals. It's payday. Gotta love that.